Hey, I'm Sheniece Charway, and welcome to Battles and Blessings, the podcast where we take a deep dive into the extraordinary journeys of today's most influential voices. I created this podcast because I believe that everyone's lives, just like the biblical figures, are marked by both battles and blessings. On this podcast, you'll hear some powerful stories that will challenge and uplift you. All right, let's dive into today's episode. Hi, and welcome to Battles and Blessings. Today, I am super excited to sit down with one of my favorite artists, but someone I see as a little sister. We're going to be sitting down with Enny. So, Enny is one of the most compelling voices in UK rap. Hailing from South London, she broke through with her powerful anthem, Peng Black Girls, and quickly earned critical acclaim for her sharp lyricism and soulful storytelling. Her debut EP, Under 25, marked her as an artist of depth, purpose, and authenticity, with co-signs with the likes of Georgia Smith and major platforms like GQ, The Guardian, and Cutters. Enny continues to push the culture forward with honesty, creativity, and a voice that truly resonates within this generation. Enny, how are you?
That was such a lovely introduction. But I'm all right. I'm chilling.
Good. I feel like we obviously realised we haven't seen each other since November.
Yeah.
But I know you've been working.
Yeah.
How's life for you at the moment?
Busy, I think. Yeah. Which is good because it was like not busy for ages. And so it's nice to like get back to work. But I do feel like mad rusty.
Why'd you say that?
Just like I feel like I've spent so much time being Enny's on. And so it's like, you know, when you're going back to like releasing music and stuff like that, it's like, it's just separation. And so now I'm like having to relearn how to be Enny again.
Wow. And what are the steps that you've been doing to kind of relearn who's Enny as a person?
As a person, I think you like just trying to find purpose outside of music. I think like when you have a dream as well and you put everything into chasing that dream and then like you're living in it, I think it's really easy for it to like become like over consuming.
Yep.
And so like when people ask me like, what's your hobby? And I'm just like, oh, I don't actually have hobbies outside of music because music was always my hobby. So it's like trying to figure out just different ways to not like exhaust my love for music.
Yeah. I think that conversation happens a lot where people say when you have a dream or you go into it something, that is your hobby, but then it becomes your job.
Yeah.
So like it's now learning that is going to be part of your life forever. But how do you kind of rediscover new parts of yourself? Because music was the part that allowed you to be someone different from who you are at home, which I think is really interesting. I feel like people have missed you. I have missed you. How has these last couple of years been for you?
They've been really interesting. I think it's just been a lot of growth. Like,
yeah,
I feel like when I first started, I felt like a kid, and now I feel like an adult. And like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm the woman that I used to think I was gonna become. And so I think just that being on that journey has just been like really amazing. And also just watching everyone else get older as well. I think that's like, I've never really experienced people getting older in the way that I'm seeing it now. Like I'm like people that came before me, they're looking older, or like our parents are looking older. I'm looking older. Like it's just like everything's like different. So I think I'm just really embracing that, enjoying it.
I love that. How's that been for you though, seeing people around you grow in different ways? So I think when you released your EP a few years ago, you've obviously completely changed and rediscovered yourself.
Yeah.
And obviously getting older, you discover new things that you may or may not have known about yourself. Is there anything that you can pinpoint to be like, wow, you love this now, or you're the type of person that needs to be around people or wants to have isolation periods? I know you do a lot of holidays by yourself. Why do you feel like you have to do that?
I think just to recenter myself. I just like, I think you can't hear a lot. You can't hear yourself in like the midst of a lot of noise. And I think just sometimes taking myself away just makes me like understand how I'm feeling. And also just like, I think I'm learning more now so that it's like a really nice way to fellowship with God because there's no distractions outside of it. I think it's really easy to get distracted when you're around stuff. Like when you're in your routine at home, you're not always going to wake up and pray. You're not always going to wake up and read your Bible. But when you're like in a really intentional space, I think that like allows for it. So.
Wow. Do you feel like your relationship with God has changed over the last couple of years?
Oh yeah, 1,000%. Like 1,000%. Yeah, just like growing, it's like it's like the baby thing. I think like that analogy of like, you have to stop eating baby food as a Christian and then you got to start eating the hard food. And like broccoli to a baby isn't nice.
Yeah.
And then you get older and broccoli is not too bad as an adult. And I think it's kind of like that. It's like your palate kind of like changes for it. So I think I'm just having a more mature palate for my walk.
That is, I've never heard that analogy, and I think that is
Same.
actually, yeah, but it's
Random.
actually a really nice way to do it, because I think a lot of us, especially when you start in the music industry, your relationship with God can be baby-like, and like quote unquote, people say, oh, you can be a lukewarm Christian because there's certain things that you're still doing that you shouldn't be doing as a Christian, and then when you get older, you go through seasons that God puts you through that can be like, why is this happening? Which I'm sure everyone's experienced, and it's also part of your walk. But then when you get older and you're going through these seasons, you understand that it's actually a part of you and you believing in God, which can be quite hard. Do you feel like now you're in this new season, like your faith has guided your creativity around making new music?
Yeah, I think I just want to be more intentional with with like my messaging, especially like in the period of time that we're in. I think like even as Christians, I feel like there's been like a really strong like resurgence of faith in like every dimension. And I think like I just had this like moment where I was just like, I feel like I just want to like please God a bit more, rather than pleasing myself and not pleasing other people. And so it's just like, how do you do that in your art? And I think, it's just learning. It's just like, I think it's just representing what I'm going through, and hopefully the music will show that.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think a lot of the time it's like you want to do the right things by God, and it's like putting him into everything. And sometimes it can be quite hard. So I know we've had conversations of like me even saying to you, I don't know if I should work in this industry because, you know, it's quite dark. And as a Christian, you're not supposed to be around certain things. But then also God wants light in dark places. And that could be quite a hard balance, especially if you're making music that might seem secular, even though it isn't. But because you work in a secular industry, it can be quite hard. Do you feel like your purpose has changed?
This feels like therapy. So has your purpose changed?
Do you feel like your purpose has changed?
My purpose has changed. I think not purpose, but I think my whys have changed. And I think like maybe that does impact your purpose, but I think my intentions have I'm trying to find a new why, because I think the why initially is very like egotistical and like very like external validation, and then once that stuff disappears, like you don't want your like who you are as a person to be dependent on that, and so you kind of have to find a new reason for that. And I think that's why the music or like my messaging will change, because that's like maybe that's the purpose that I'm trying to, that's my new why, to just, I don't know, draw people closer to Christ. And
how do you feel your messaging has changed then? Because you mentioned that a few times. Like, what's changing your messaging in your music? I don't
think the messaging's changed. I think I'm just trying to communicate more that I don't want to be ashamed to say Jesus' name in music, or like scared, or like, and I don't think I ever have been. I just don't think it's ever been necessary. But I feel like I'm just like more I want to be more comfortable in doing that. And well, no, I wasn't even uncomfortable. I don't know. I just feel like I'm trying to.
It is hard. I feel like it is sometimes hard to step out, because even when we started this podcast, everyone was like, I can't believe you're being so bold and being like, this podcast is about people's faith in God, but also their faith in themselves or whatever it is. But people, I feel like once you say the word God, there's another lens on you that once it's on there, it kind of stays there. And we're kind of having the same conversation with Gets, where it's like, he has a song called Yahweh, right? And he's rapped about that, but people also see him as Gets that might do X, Y, and Z. And it's now trying to be like, okay, if I'm stepping out and believing in God, people, your representation of him, and then that adds a layer of pressure.
1,000%.
That you might not understand until you're in it. So I do definitely get what you mean. It is hard, but it's also like God has given you a reason and a purpose to do that. You wouldn't have that gift if you didn't want to use it the way that you're using it.
But it's just like, you know, like even with what you're saying, it's like, I think the fear, even like doing the podcast, I was a bit nervous, because I'm just like, I never want to like bring like reproach to God's name. And so it's like you're there saying all this stuff, but then you're completely doing the opposite. And I think that's like sometimes, like, am I in a good enough space to do this? Am I like in a fellowship? Have I been fellowshipping? Am I like in the space to even have these conversations? And I think sometimes that can like sit in the back of your head, and that could just like deter you from doing stuff like this. And so I think it's important to just even be transparent with that sometimes like, yeah, I'm not in the best space, but like God is still God and I still believe, but
100%.
I'm annoyed, I'm angry, I'm all these things.
Yeah, and we're not perfect. And the only person that was perfect was Jesus.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the time we judge each other on what we think someone should act or how they should act. Because, oh, I know Enny, so Enny should act like this because I've seen this glimpse of her. But also they don't know the trials and tribulations that you've gone through or what season you're in.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the time we can be quite judgy. I know people are like, oh, Sheniece is doing a podcast about God, but I definitely saw it outside last week, or do you know what I mean? And it's like, the two can exist.
Yeah,
and
but I struggle with that. So like for some reason in my head, and I feel like that's something that's like not like it's black. It has to be black and white. Like for me, I feel like there's no gray area. It's like either you are or you aren't. But I don't think that. I feel like I've been learning that doesn't exist, but it doesn't mentally sit with me because I'm just like, if I said God's name once and I've said this, I don't want to hear a swear word in any of my music. I don't want to see a boob. I want to see like that's how it is in my head. Like it's like you can't like do both. But it's like what is like what is what? Like it's like I feel like
it's a conversation that it keeps coming up as well because it's like I think I posted like what is a modern day Christian as well because things have changed so much that it's like God is putting us in different spaces. Yeah. So if we're all not in these spaces, then there's never going to be light in them. Yeah. So it's quite hard. And I get it. Sometimes I struggle. I'm like, should I be going to this event? Should I be going to that? Should I be doing this? Or like when certain opportunities come to me, I'm like, is this a great representation of God? Yeah. Are people going to judge me on that? But if you take everything to God and ask him, if this is your will for me, let it be done. And if it happens, then great. And if it's not something he wants you to do, he will move you. Yeah. He will move you so that it is something that you need to be doing. So I think this is such a super interesting conversation. Is there any moments that you felt like you were far away from your purpose? Where you said, actually, do you know what? I feel like I'm away from it. I don't know what's going on.
Not away from my purpose. Yeah. But I think like when I think everything happened like so quickly and then I just got kind of caught up in it. And then you're kind of just thinking, what am I actually doing? Like, what are we doing here? We're just making music to keep releasing music. And then it's just like, oh, okay. I don't know. I just feel I was just going along with the ride really quickly and I didn't really like know where I was going on the ride for a bit. And so I feel like I had to like take some time out to like just refigure out what the heck I'm doing. Yeah. And why I'm doing it.
How was that time off for you?
It was horrible. It was great and then it was horrible. Like, you know, like sometimes when like I feel like God was like, you this year you're gonna sit your bum down. Yeah. I was like, sorry? And he was like, yeah, you're gonna sit down. And it's like I felt like everything like I would use as a clutch like disappeared. And so I really had to like sit within myself. And I was just like, the heck? Like, yeah. And so that moment of like clarity was just, well, those moments that led to clarity felt like hell. Like it was just like this, I was being pruned and I would be talking to people and they'd be looking at me like, oh, you're in the wilderness. And I'd be like, what does it sound like? Does it sound like that bad? And they'd be like, yeah, bro, it sounds like you're going through it. And so I like at the end of it, it was just like the learning thing was just like, I just want to, my heart's desire is to please God. Yeah. And so I think God just had to like remind me because like I feel like we can even make our jobs our gods in our lives sometimes. And I feel like that's what was happening. That like when I first started music, like everything was, before I quit my job to do music, I was like reading my Bibles, praying. And it was like, I was waiting on the word from God to be like, God was like, quit your job. And then I quit it. And then obviously everything just happened. Like I was never like second guessing. It was just things were just happening and just aligning. And then suddenly things stopped aligning and everything just felt hard. And I was thinking like, what the heck is going on? Like usually things have just made sense and everything's just happened and it was just like, now this is the growing period of when I need you to come back to me because I gave you what you wanted. You've been having fun. Now what? We're both looking at each other like
Spider-Man.
Yeah. Like you got what you wanted. Okay. Can you pause on what you got, what you wanted? And then it's like that question of, can I pause? Can I stop all of this for you? And that, I feel like that was like a very conflicting thing because it sounds pretty as Christians to be like, yeah, man, when Jesus was dying on the cross, I would have been there. Low key, we wouldn't have been there. No. Like, we would have been like, oh, they're really coming for my man. And they're like, I feel like a lot of us would have like probably just taken a step back. And I think I'm understanding the reality of what like the Bible, the stories in the Bible, how real they are.
Yeah.
And just like, yeah, just the context of things in real life are like real. And I'm asking myself, would I really be able to do that? Am I really able to deny myself what I want for God? And I think that's like the biggest like trial I've been dealing with.
Well, that's very powerful, by the way.
Oh,
and
thanks.
you actually know that you're in the wilderness, because I think a lot of the time we go through these seasons and we don't understand why. And we're like, why is this happening? What's going on? And there was two things I want to discuss actually. Firstly, you hearing God's voice to know that you quit. Like, can you take us through that? How did you know that was like, this is the time? And how did God speak to you? Was it through scripture? Was it just like, you know what? You heard his voice and he said, quit now? Because I think that's very powerful.
It was just like an itch. It was like there was a desire, and I feel like God gives us these desires sometimes. Like anytime like I have a dream for something, I'm just like, well, this came from somewhere. I didn't like generate this up. And so it was just like this constant uncomfortability where I was. And I don't know, it was like a word. It was just like, quit the job. And I was like, no. So my like resignation letter was in my draft for ages. And then it just got to a point where I was just like, I need to do this. And as soon as I did that, it was like a domino effect of just like everything, like just everything just, and I was just like, oh, wow, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, then within like 12 months, like I've like met my whole team. Everything's completely different. I've got like a remix from Jordan Smith, like everything's like in 12 months, and I'm just like, yeah, this is ridiculous. Like this is grace. I can only even attribute it to the prayers that I know a lot of people were praying over me. And so like, I feel like sometimes I'm a testament of God's like grace and favor, because it doesn't make sense. So when I like see favor, I'm just like, bro, I know what favor looks like, because I'm not the only artist. I'm not the only person. I'm not like, I don't have two heads. I'm just rapping. Everyone raps. Like a lot of people make music. So it's just like, I know what favor looks like, and I know that it's not by my own hand, that I know that there was something there. Yeah.
And God had that favor because he needs to do something. And because Peng Black Girls just came out, was it before COVID? Just before COVID?
During COVID.
Was it during COVID?
Yeah, it came out October 2020.
That is insane. I remember it was funny because I remember Zubin being like, I promise you, you're going to love this girl. I was like, yeah. Then I was like, no, she's my little sister. I love her.
That is jokes.
But like, what was your creative intentions with Peng Black Girls? Because that was like a whole movement.
Yeah.
And I remember wearing the t-shirt that you guys made.
Oh, you're on it?
I'm on the t-shirt.
Yeah, I believe so.
I'm on the t-shirt.
I think so. Are you?
I don't think I am.
No, I don't think you are.
No, I don't think I'm on the t-shirt. We weren't friends then.
God. Yeah, no. I feel like I would have put every black woman I knew that I liked. Yeah. Sorry.
No, but I remember wearing it because I used to live with my sister, and I remember wearing it, and I remember my niece coming up to me and being like, Auntie Shen, is that your face? And I was like, no. And I was like, oh, Enny doesn't even know what she's done. There's little black girls that are now seeing themselves on things that they probably would never. And I don't think you understand how powerful that song is and the movement that you had behind it. It made us feel very seen. So I actually want to say thanks, because it is something that we needed, that we didn't know we needed. And it was just very powerful. But was that your intention to like, what was your intention behind Peng Black Girls?
There was no intention. I was just a girl trying to rap. Like I was just trying to spit the hardest bars. And so I think that's again, like just how, I don't know, like I just had a song that I wrote one time when I was coming from work. Like
you wrote it when you were coming back from work?
Yeah, like on the train when I was still at my 9 to 5. I wrote that song in like 2018. So like, yeah. So it's very just like, just when things make sense. But it's like, yeah. So when you watch the impact, you're just like, wow.
You're like,
okay, mad. But like, yeah, there was it's just like the authenticity of a young black babe just trying to figure stuff out, I guess.
Which is, I mean, I'm quite shocked. I didn't know that, because I'm just like, I felt it feels very intentional, that song as well. And it's like, even the video and everything is just like, okay, this is a representation of like black womanhood and what it represents.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you have a lack of responsibility now to like represent black women and black womanhood because of that song?
No, because I didn't have a responsibility when I made it.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's a responsibility. I think I'm a black girl.
Yeah.
And I think anything I do, like even as you as a Black woman, you being in the spaces and doing what you're doing is inspiring to us, because it's just like we don't see it every day. And you might not be thinking that every day, like, ooh, I'm carrying the plight of Black. Yeah, do you know what I mean? You're just doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
But by you doing what you're doing is having an impact. And I think that's the responsibility. But I think it's okay to not like be like, I have to carry the weight of everything on me, because, and then you overthink stuff and then things become cringy and you start doing too much. And so I think just be organic with it, and then it will just...
No, 100%. No, that's very true, actually. I don't wake up every day and be like, okay, I'm representing every Black woman in this country or whatever. But I guess sometimes it's hard because you feel like there's only certain people in certain spaces.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, a lot of women definitely resonate with you, especially because of that song, and that's their first discovery of you.
Yeah.
So I think it's very interesting to kind of understand how you feel about it, because I think people are like, okay, Enny's doing this, or Enny was the first one to really be like, this is representation of Black women, especially in the UK. Like, I don't think we really had a song like that, where it's had that movement, especially because it was COVID and it was getting shared so much.
Yeah, it's like, again, when things aligned, when God allowed things to align, because it happened during the Black Lives Matter thing. So there was just like this weird stillness, like the industry's closed, people aren't really releasing music anyway. And so there's just this song that is just like, it had the platform, it had the like context to really exist. And I feel like, yeah, no one could have written that.
Yeah, wow, God's favour. And you wrote in 2018, it came out 2020.
Yeah. And there was even like it didn't have a name for ages. I remember the file was called Jungle when I had it. Yeah, because I didn't have a name for it. And then so the guy that I initially recorded it with, he called it, I don't know, he was calling it Jungle. And so it was called that. And then there was the conversation of calling it Peng Black Girls. And I was a bit nervous about that, because that feels very loud and very in your face. And I was just like, oh, is that what we're going to do? Like, that feels like, are they going to play Peng Black Girls on the radio? Are they going to... But I think doing that really had an impact. And so I'm really glad that like I wasn't like, no guys, let's not do that. And I think it's also sick to have a team that feel like, yeah, we need to push this message as well.
100%. Even your team and how you guys all came together. I'm like,
yeah, very bizarre.
very bizarre. But it worked and it all aligned. So it makes sense. And I think what I love about this conversation is that you were obedient to God's voice.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't quit your job and if you didn't listen to it, actually, do you know what? It should be called Peng Black Girls. It might not have had the same impact. Because maybe if you said, actually, do you know, I'm going to wait another year, then the Black Lives Matter movement might have been gone by then or whatever.
It was just like what it was. Yeah. Like, it wasn't even like, okay, well, it was just like, it was the next track I had. It's like, I'd put out my first single and then I got signed, and it was just like, okay, what's your next? We were going to do this next. And then it's just like, it had all the support to really get that pushing. So it's just like ordained timing, I guess.
I love this for you. So,
oh, thanks.
I have a question for you. How hard has it been to be authentic to yourself while being in this rap space, especially which is dominated by a lot of men?
I think it's been easy because I feel like men have dominated spaces so long, they feel like they don't really have to work as hard.
Yeah.
Because they're just in the space and they're men, so it's gonna like happen. And so I think women, and that's why I think women are better, because they're really trying. Yeah. And they're really trying and they're really good. Yeah. Because they're really trying and they're really good. It's like I watch women have like a lot of taste and be really interesting and have like all types of like, I'm not saying men are not, but like I'm just saying that I think it allows, it's the period that men had early on, I think, in music is the same thing that's happening to women. But like, I think we're getting different types of artists. It's not like there's one specific version of what a female rapper should be. There's like whole different dimensions of them. So I think there's just the evolution of women rappers bring to hip hop and rap and grime and all these spaces. And I'm enjoying it because the lyricism on women is crazy right now. Yeah. And also lyricism through women like provides a whole different context. Like we know the context of male lyricism. We know the stories. We've heard it 1,000 times. And so I think it just, more women provide different contexts and spaces and different stories and different themes, I think.
Yeah, no, you put that perfectly. And I think it's quite nice to hear the different stories. I think there was a time where it was the same songs over and
every
over.
Every time. How many times? Actually, sorry. No, sorry. It's true.
And now it's just like, I feel like there's a movement, especially with like female rappers, even in like the US as well. It's like, you guys, it's all happening and it's exciting and it's new and it's fresh. And I think you guys are representing a whole new array of women that people might not have ever thought would happen, which is actually really exciting. And I do think at some point, women, I hope, won't have to feel like they have to be completely different to stand out. It's like women have all these stories that are so important that need to be told, even if it is in a male-dominated space, that we always have to take up space and actually just be like, you know what, this is what we want to rap about, or we want to represent ourselves without having to get the cosign from a man.
Yeah.
Which happens a lot.
Yeah.
You said once that you don't want to be perceived as perfect.
I said that.
Yeah. You did. We did our research, honey.
It's why I get scared to talk sometimes. Sometimes I just say, I like have a really bad stream of consciousness when someone asks us the right questions.
No, but it's good though, because I think a lot of us want to be like try and be perfect when no one is actually perfect.
Yeah.
And it can be at the detriment to ourselves. Like, I know sometimes I'm like, I need to do this, this, and this because I need to be deemed as put together or perfect in the eyes of everyone else. But I love that you said that. And like, what kind of, to lead on to that, it's like, what kind of honesty do you strive for in your music now that you know that you're not perfect? And we discussed this a little bit before in terms of you can't be perfect because obviously, again, Jesus was the only person that's perfect. But as like a Christian woman, knowing that, okay, do you know what, there's certain things I can and can't do.
Yeah.
What kind of do you strive what honesty do you strive into your music now?
I think the honesty's always been there.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that response was just like, I have a very clean image.
Yeah.
And it's like very wholesome and girl next door. And so I feel like maybe in my head, I'm like, I don't want to look so clean cut and so like, oh, Enny, ha ha ha. Like, I want to be like, you know, like when Rihanna had her transition from like,
what could go bad?
Yeah, it's like, and then maybe that's where my head was at. But now, I don't. I think, no one's perfect, but I think I'm happy with who I am and what I represent, and whatever perception that is whatever perception it is.
I think it's a great perception, and I think you've always been very authentic to yourself. Like, thanks. I feel like you've grown a lot in terms of like just you as a person, and it's really nice to see. Thanks. And I feel like you just feel like you can be yourself. I think especially coming into the music industry, it's quite hard, and like you said, everything just happened so quick.
Yeah.
And it can be quite scary. But I feel like you haven't ever been out, and it's not the same person I met 5 years ago or whatever.
I don't know. Ask Pascal, he might have some. I'm joking.
I'll ask Pascal.
No, I'm joking. No, I'm actually joking.
To lead on to that, actually, like, do you feel like you're in a new creative space? Like, do you feel like how you make music is different, or how you pick who you're going to work with, or even how you write songs?
Not different. I think like it's a bit harder because I'm a bit wary of where I'm writing from.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes you can write from like such a space that is like just very fleshly. And so I think also that's been like a lot of my, like, not a hindrance, but it's kind of, not a hindrance, but it's kind of made it harder because I'm just like, where am I writing from right now? I'm just writing from just like from like, what are you writing about now? Like shut up. Like you're complaining. So it's like all these conversations I'm having, like, I'm writing something and I'm just like, oh, that's just sounds like I'm complaining. It sounds very self-indulgent and just like my woes and my feelings and my emotions. And I think I'm just a bit cautious of like writing about self when there's so much outside of self. There's a whole world. There's so many stories. And I think that's what I'm trying to lean into a bit more.
Where are you getting inspiration from at the moment?
No idea. There's not much happening. There's not much inspiration out there if I'm being frank. But maybe that, I don't know, like, yeah, I don't feel inspired by
inspired. What used to inspire? Was there anything that used to inspire you?
Yeah, being a villain.
You being a villain?
Yeah. Because, you know, like you'd be like, oh, so I'm not the best rapper. Okay, cool. And then you go practice to be the best rapper. Oh, I wasn't invited. Okay. I'm going to make sure.
I'm invited.
Oh. And so like when not being a villain is not the inspiration anymore, it's just like, it feels like really hard to like attack creativity in like this aggressive, competitive way, because it's just like, I feel like that's not like a really good place to like always want to find my inspiration from wanting to like, I don't know, be better than people. Like I should just want to be better because I want to impress myself.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where I'm trying to find inspiration of like what inspires me and what gasses me, rather than what I think everyone else is gonna like. Especially now when you have an audience of people that are waiting for something.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so they really like this song, so I need to make more songs like that. Well, no, this is like your crossroad where you don't make songs like that. This is where you carry on evolving as an artist. And so I think I'm just learning all of that right now.
Very interesting. And I think it is hard to get inspiration when you're in a different space as well.
Yeah.
Because the things that used to inspire you don't inspire you now.
Yeah.
And you don't want to force trying to be inspired by something that actually doesn't inspire you, which would be quite hard. But I think it's an interesting one, because it is hard to get inspiration sometimes. Like, you can be in a bubble where you're like, you could, like you say, you can make the songs that people want, but this is your time to be like, what does anyone?
What do I like?
Yeah, what do you like?
And like, also, the UK just doesn't feel inspiring. In the summer, actually, the last couple of days, it's been really hot and nice. And like,
now
the sky's
it's raining.
been like, yeah. But sometimes it just feels like there isn't like a, it's like not till you leave the country that you realise that, oh, there's like new perspectives. And I feel like I feel like I've exhausted my experience of being a young black woman in the UK. Like I've told the stories I can tell from here. And so it's like that I can't pick much anymore. Like I turned 25. Okay. There's Peng Black Girls in my ends. Okay. Heartbreak. Okay. Now what?
Yeah. But I feel like it will come from somewhere so random where you'll be like, well, I didn't think I'll be inspired by X.
You said eggs?
No, by X.
Oh, X.
Not X, it's like X. No,
I was like, it's giving Ghanaian.
So you say it's giving Ghanaian. You're so annoying.
Sorry.
But it will come from somewhere. And also, like, you just got to lean on God and he'll give you something that you've never even thought of. Do you think success is, the definition of success has changed to you now?
Yeah, because I don't think success is real.
Why'd you say that?
Because you just keep chasing this. You're just going to keep chasing this thing, and then you get it, and then you have to chase something else, and that doesn't make sense to me. Like, it's just like we keep going to what end? So I think you just have to find success in whatever you think success is. But I don't think success is a visible thing, because then once you get it, you now have to set something else, and then you're just constantly chasing after. Like,
do you have milestones at least? Do you feel like you have like milestones that you want to hit X amount of, I don't know, tour these places? Or is there like little dreams of yours that you have, like, okay, I want to, I don't know, tour in Brazil one day if you haven't, or you want to work with this person? Is there anything like that that keeps you going to be like, okay, these are measurements, you just go over? I love that.
Because because like I just wanted to make music. And then wherever that took me, wherever it took me, I didn't know it was going to take me. I just knew what I wanted to do. And so putting accolades, like putting these milestones on things, I think they're good, but they're like, I'm not leaning on them, because I'm open to whatever is going to happen. Like, I don't mind. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I don't mind.
You got to leave it to God.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Is there a particular scripture or lyric or mantra that is keeping you going in the season, like guiding you?
Yeah, but I've forgotten it. But if I'm even just put it in a video, it's not about stillness. Like, oh yeah, be still. I know that I'm good. I feel like I've been, well, like, a lot of last year was just stillness. Like, stillness has been like a real theme. Was like a real theme for a long time. And I think, stillness really helped. Have you been practicing stillness still? No, because I'm back to work.
But you still need to have stillness in this time, because we're talking about having a work-life balance. Yeah,
which is probably why I ran away all the time. Because I was searching for a form of stillness. And so like, I'm always happy to go be still somewhere in Greece.
In Greece. I want to go to Greece. I might need to ask you about Greece.
Oh yeah, no, I went to this really nice resort. It was really nice.
I love that. What advice would you give to someone told you that you're in the wilderness? If there were other creatives that might have been in that space, like, what advice would you give them? Because obviously you're out of the quote unquote wilderness now. Like, what
I don't know. I don't know if I'm out of the wilderness. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. But what advice would I give?
What would you advice would give someone that is like in that same space that you were in? Like, someone would say, Enny, you know what? I feel like what you're saying is resonating with me. How did you get through it? What did you do?
I say all the best, man. Low key, I say you see it through. Just like trust and obey, like trust in the Lord, and like I think it's obedience is the thing. Like you really have to obey.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of these trialing periods will come from like not listening to what God's saying, and so it's just like He's saying do this, and you're like la 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 la.
I'm gonna do it my way.
Yeah, like you don't like the answer. Like you'd be praying for something, and God would be like this. You'd be like sorry, wait. A different sign, like not that sign, a different one. And I think that's where a lot of like stuff comes from not listening and not following. And but it also just it provides growth, and that's one of the things I felt like in a lot of the uncomfortable like periods I was in. I was not enjoying it, but I knew it was to an end. It had a purpose, and so I was like, okay. Like when people tell me something bad's happening to them, I get excited because I'm just like, bro, you're going to be so different at the end of this. Like, this is even exciting. You should be gassed that this moment means that something great is coming. And so, I think that's what I would say.
Yeah, no, it's true. Obedience is, I think, something that most people struggle with.
Yeah.
I struggle with obedience. I will hear and I'm like, oh, but if I do it this way, then maybe...
I said no.
It's like, no. And you're like, okay. It's fine. But no, 100%. I think obedience is something that we all need to do. And I think sometimes we question, I've mentioned this before, but like selective spirituality, where we're like, oh yeah, I know God's telling me this because I like the answer.
Yeah.
But when He doesn't tell me the answer, I'm like, actually, I don't think He's telling me that. When you know He's telling you that, but it's not the answer that you want.
Yeah.
And God always knows best.
Thing.
Yeah.
That is the hardest thing. Also, I just don't think people communicated, even like, I feel like people never really communicated how hard it is to really like grow in your faith. Like I feel like even as children, like Christianity was always presented as soon as you change to God, that's it. Like everything is, and it is things like I would watch like a lot of my friends come to Christ and they'd be so happy, but then at the same, and then once they'd be like they'd have this glow, and then I'd be like, wow, like okay, so that's it. Yeah. Like now, but like I'm not realizing that they're still struggling, even though they're presenting as like they're still having conflict. It's not that they woke up the next day and it was just like Jesus cleared everything. And I think also when you've like grown up in the faith too, you like can like you have this comfortability with your faith. And I feel like that's what happened to me, that I was just like holding on to this really intense Christian I was at 15, and I felt like that was my badge of honor to like be like, oh yeah, when I win an awards I'm gonna thank Jesus and I'm gonna do like I'm a Christian. I say I'm a Christian, I believe in God, but like there's the moment of like God was like, you don't know me like the way you know me. And I was just like, huh? Like, bro, you don't know me the way you think you know me, and He'll show you. And it rattled me, like it just changed everything, because I was just like, wait, what do you mean? Like I'm Enny, I was the Bible, but like no, like what do you mean? Like you don't know me the way you think you know me. And that just like, I had to like take a second to be like, what? No one tells you that though. And that's why like so many Christians end up in hell, because you don't realize that you're not like you it's just and it's like ignorance is bliss, because when I didn't know it was fine, and now I know. It's just like now I'm accountable to every stupid thing I'm doing. So people will be like, oh yeah? And you'll be like, oh, you know. Yeah. Okay. It's so don't true. Do that, okay. Yeah, because someone's holding you accountable. Yeah. And you can't hide from God. The one thing you can't do is hide from God. So He sees everything. So even if you're like, I'm going to repent about this one thing that, He's seen everything. Yeah. So you have to know that once you're in it, you're in it. Word. And it is, I say being a Christian is one of the hardest things. It is. Even it's not that it sucks, but it's just like, it's so much, It's hard. It is. It is not easy road. It's to deny yourself. Yeah. To deny this full experience. It's always like the food thing. Like when I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. What do you mean I shouldn't eat? Because not eating is going to do this, but it's my natural urge to eat. I need to eat and it's just like that logic is so like mind-boggling to me, because we need to eat, but God may require you not to eat in this period. So it's just like, even like what God requires from us goes against like what naturally our bodies and what it seems natural to us. And I think that's even hard as well, because I'm just be like, what the heck, man? I'm hungry. Killing your flesh is ridiculous. Yeah. But it's hard, but I guess we shall prevail. I know, and the eternal rewards is bigger than our word, anything that we can understand. But all work in progresses, and we also different parts of our walks. So this season might be really easy for me, and this season might be really hard. Yeah. Vice versa, or there'll be things that you go through where you're like, did I sign up for this? And it's like, no, you did. Yeah. But can you still say God is good at the end of it as well? I think that's even where the test is. Like when it's hard, you're still going to be screaming.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, those are like the
100%. If you were to see any of 2021, right? What would surprise you the most?
If I were to see her,
yeah,
what would surprise me?
Yeah.
What would surprise me now?
Is there anything you'd be like, wow, I can't believe I was like this, or wow, I've grown so much in this area, or whatever it is? So I feel like you've changed a lot. Like there's been a lot of growth. Not saying that you were a child before, but like
I was there. I'm 30 now.
I know, I can't believe you're 30. I'm like,
Same.
oh my gosh.
I'm so happy to be here.
And the fact that I met you when you're 25 is insane.
I know. But it was 25, but given 21.
Do you feel?
Yeah, I feel like I was really like, I know I'm like a last one, so like I'm always gonna have like this. Yeah, I don't know. I just more self-belief, I think.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of imposter syndrome during that period, and just not knowing. Yeah, like I've never been here before. I don't know, and I'm just like so introverted that it's just like I think it can sometimes be to a detriment. But so maybe just to have been more comfortable, like being proud of everything that was happening, rather than not trying to look so like happy that things were happening to me, and just like playing everything down when I should have been gassed. So,
but sometimes it is hard though when you're in something and everything's happening very quickly. Does you have to take moments to celebrate yourself? Do you do that?
I'm trying to now. Like it was even my trip to Ghana last year that just changed my whole perspective of like even last year and why like I took a minute, because I was like I was in the rooms that you plugged me to stay in. And and then I was just like, what do you mean? Like, huh? Like I was like, I quit my job 5 years ago. And I always like equate 5 years to like secondary school time. So year 7 to 11. And I just, who you become from year 7 to year 11 is such a like.
That's so true, actually.
Huge. Like you're a little kid and then now you're like a teenager. And so 5 years is so huge. Like 5 years has always been such like a key thing to me. And I was like, 5 years, so much has happened and I feel like I didn't enjoy it. And I was just like, everything was flashing in my mind. And I was just like, I've done so much and I haven't enjoyed it to the capacity that I feel like I should have enjoyed it. And it's because of time. I was like taking time for granted.
Yeah.
And so like my nephew turned 5 and it's just like all these things where I'm just like, 5? He's a whole functioning human being. And when I started music, he was just like this blob. And so like, I'm just like seeing how much time has gone and how much I didn't take it in.
Yeah.
And enjoy it and be like really excited with all these opportunities.
And you should.
Yeah.
Like you've done incredible stuff. I'd actually encourage you to do Future Me letter. Have you done it before?
No. What's that?
So basically you can write a letter to yourself in the future. So you could do it in 6 months, you could do it in a year, you could do it in 5 years. And it sends it to your email address.
Mad.
Yeah. So I do it every year.
And then how does that feel when you get the letter
It's
back?
crazy because you're like, oh yeah, it's always me. I'm always saying, oh, I gotta met someone or whatever. And it's just like, end of the year, it's like, wow. But it's like, it's so reflective and just being able to be like, at the beginning of the year, you're like, okay, these are all my goals. Or like, this is what I want to do. And you look at the end of it and you're like, I've started this, I've started that. Like, and it's really good just to have something that you can hold onto and like print out and be like, actually, this is the time.
Life, innit?
So I encourage you to do a year and 5 years, especially because so much can happen in 5 years.
Yeah.
And just do it.
Do that.
You should.
So sharp. Even I feel like I did like a you know, at the beginning of the year you set out your goals for the year.
Yeah.
And like I did that at the beginning of 2023, and then I think in November I found, oh my god, I then forgot about it. Like I had this plan, I was going to be this amazing version of myself before the year ended, and then I found the book later in the year and I saw all the goals and I had completely done nothing. And I broke down.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's what led to like We Go Again, because it was literally me telling me like, I bet you messed up. You fumbled bad. We go again. And so like, I think that it's like a similar sentiment of like looking back in that letter in 5 years and being like really proud or being like.
All the stuff that you've done.
Yeah. We go again.
Wow. Well, I've actually enjoyed this conversation a lot.
Same.
I'm very proud of you, firstly.
Thanks, vice versa.
Thank you. That's
sweet. Killing it.
For people that don't know you, what songs should they listen to? Don't say Peng Black Girls because we spoke about that. They'll do it. And don't say Charge It because that's my favourite song. So I knew you were gonna say Charge It. See this?
Yeah. Maybe 2 a.m. in Central. I feel like that is it's just very it's very Enny coded. So yeah.
I love that.
Thanks.
How do people find you on socials and your music?
They find me on Instagram. Barely. But
I know, I'm
any
like, you're
integrity.
missing it,
Yeah, I know. I'm every day.
You're shy.
I'm not shy. I don't, the internet's so scary. It feels like there's just so much going on there. But yeah, on Instagram, anyway, I actually prefer Any Integrity.
Amazing. And are we going to hear new music soon?
Yeah. Track's out.
Yeah, the track is out and make sure you go find
Listen to it.
Go listen to it.
Yeah, it's a banger. No, it's not a banger, but
it is a banger. I've heard it. It's great. Don't try that.
Scheme. When did you hear it?
Oh God, the squeeze is honey.
Skeena.
I'm proud of you and I love you and
Thanks.
congrats on everything. And I feel like we're going to have this conversation again.
Yeah, same.
Maybe in 5 years. Maybe sooner.
35? Hey! Sorry.
And I'll be 38. Let's not talk about
Jeez.
You're so funny. Well, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for listening to today's episode. We all go through ups and downs, so I hope this episode brought some comfort to you. Remember, don't get complacent during your blessings and do not give up during your battles. Please don't forget to like, follow and subscribe. I'm Sheniece Charway and you just listened to Battles and Blessings.